In the summer of 2013, a 26-year-old oilfield worker from Texas named Brandon Lawson returned home from work and immediately became involved in a heated argument with his longtime girlfriend. Tension had been building between the two for days. Brandon had been working nonstop, often 7 days a week, and their youngest child was only a few months old. On top of that, Brandon had recently relapsed into addiction, placing even more strain on their relationship. It's unclear whether his girlfriend asked him to leave or if he chose to walk away on his own, but after about an hour of arguing, Brandon got into his silver Ford F-150 and drove away from their home in San Angelo. He left just after midnight on August 8th, and he was never seen again. What happened over the next few hours would turn his disappearance into one of the most disturbing and mysterious cases of the decade. Roughly 30 minutes after leaving, Brandon called his brother Kyle and told him he was several miles south of Bronte, stranded on a remote stretch of highway after running out of gas. Kyle grabbed a gas can from Brandon's house, which was about a mile from his own, and got ready to head toward his brother's location. But things didn't go as planned. Just minutes later, Brandon made another call, this time to emergency services.
2013, 0:50 and 38 seconds.
911 emergency.
Yes, I'm in the middle of the field. The tape was just pushed some guys over. Right here going towards Javelin on both sides. My truck ran out of gas. There's one car here. You got to take the pictures to the woods. Quick burning.
Okay, now run that by
The
me.
one I'm talking from, I surely ran into him.
Ah, you ran into him. Okay.
That's the first guy.
You need an ambulance?
Yes, no, I need the cops.
Okay. Is anybody hurt? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Although much of the background audio is unclear, many listeners believe they can hear possible gunshots and other voices during Brandon's 911 call. However, it's impossible to confirm what was actually happening at the time. Shortly after the call, another driver contacted police to report a silver Ford F-150 parked dangerously on the highway, partially blocking a lane. Brandon continued speaking with his brother Kyle through several phone calls that were not recorded. According to Kyle, Brandon sounded extremely paranoid, claiming he was being chased. When asked if he had been using drugs, Brandon denied it. Kyle later arrived at the truck's location, but Brandon was nowhere to be found. Brandon called again, saying he could see Kyle, and a responding officer claimed he was bleeding and urged them to hurry. Yet he never appeared. Soon after, all calls to Brandon went straight to voicemail. Police launched a large-scale search using helicopters, thermal imaging, and K-9 units, but Brandon was not found. Investigators later learned he had cashed out his 401k the night he disappeared, raising questions about whether he left voluntarily. Still, the panic in his calls suggests something may have gone wrong. Years later, clothing and shoes believed to belong to Brandon were found, along with nearby human remains. To this day, no definitive answers have been given, leaving his disappearance one of the most disturbing missing person cases on record.
On an April night in 1986, a 9-year-old girl answered a knock at her door and vanished into the New Mexico darkness. Nearly 4 decades later, the disappearance of Antoinette Calladito remains one of the most haunting unsolved cases in the country. Antoinette Christine Calladito was born on Christmas Day, 1976. She lived in Gallup, New Mexico, with her mother, Penny, and her 2 younger sisters. On April 5th, 1986, Penny went out with friends, leaving the girls with a babysitter. She returned home around midnight and sent the sitter away. According to her statement, she last saw Antoinette in the early morning hours. When Penny woke later that morning to get the girls ready for church, Antoinette was gone. Her bed was empty. The front door was unlocked. Police were notified that evening. and a massive 3-day search followed. Officers, volunteers, dogs, and helicopters searched the surrounding area, but found nothing. No clues, no trace. For years, the case went cold. Then, 5 years later, Antoinette's younger sister, Wendy, revealed something she had never shared. She said there were 2 knocks at the door that night. During the second knock, a man claimed to be Uncle Joe. When Antoinette opened the door, Wendy heard her scream as 2 men forced her into a brown van and drove away. In 1987, police received a chilling phone call. A terrified girl identified herself as Antoinette and said she was in Albuquerque. Before she could say more, an angry male voice was heard, followed by a struggle.
Police department. Hello. I'm Antoinette Garabito. Okay, whereabouts in Albuquerque? Who said you could use a help? Hello? Antoinette, where are you? Antoinette? Hello?
And the line went dead. Penny immediately identified the voice as her daughter's. Years later, a waitress in Nevada reported seeing a distressed teenage girl with a couple. The girl secretly passed her a napkin that read, "Help me, call police." By the time authorities arrived, the group was gone. Investigators later suspected someone close to Antoinette knew more than they admitted. Penny failed an FBI polygraph and was believed by some investigators to know who took her daughter. But she was never charged. She died in 1999, taking any remaining secrets with her. Today, Antoinette Cayedito would be in her 40s. Her case remains one of the oldest unsolved missing Indigenous persons cases in New Mexico. Despite renewed FBI efforts, no definitive answers have ever been found. Amber Alyssa Tuckrow was 20 years old in the summer of 2010. She was a devoted mother to her young son, Jacob. Those who knew her described her as strong-willed, outspoken, and full of life. In August 2010, Amber traveled to Edmonton with her son and a friend, staying at a motel in Nisku. One evening, she left Jacob with her friend and hitchhiked toward the city, a decision that would change everything. A man stopped and offered her a ride. While inside the vehicle, Amber received a call from her brother, who was incarcerated at the Edmonton Remand Center. That call was recorded. The driver's voice was captured. As the conversation continued, Amber's tone shifted from casual to fearful. She questioned where they were going and warned him not to take her somewhere she didn't want to go. The man reassured her, but investigators later determined he was lying.
Where are we by?
We're just heading south of Beaumont, or north of Beaumont.
We're heading north of Beaumont. Yo, where are we going? No, this is a... Are you f***ing kidding me? You better not take me anywhere I don't want to go. I want to go into the city. Jeez. Yo, we're not going into the city, are we?
We're going.
No, we're not.
Yes.
Then where the f*** are these roads going to?
50th Street.
50th Street. Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Yo, where are we going?
50th Street.
50th Street?
50th Street.
East, right?
East.
Over now.
Bravo.
The call ended abruptly. Amber was never heard from again. When she didn't return, her mother, Tootsie Tuckrow, immediately reported her missing. But police dismissed her concerns, suggesting Amber would come back on her own. She was removed from the missing persons database within weeks. Evidence was mishandled. The urgency simply wasn't there. 2 years later, in 2012, police released the phone call to the public, the first time such a move had ever been made in a Canadian homicide case. Days later, Partial remains were found in a field east of Leduc. Dental records confirmed they belonged to Amber. Her cause of death could not be determined. After the audio release, tips poured in. Multiple women independently identified the same suspect by name. Police ruled him out without explanation. Other leads followed, including one involving a potential serial killer, but none resulted in an arrest. Amber was not alone. Several other women were found dead in the same area, most of them indigenous, all with cases that remain unsolved. Investigators believe a serial predator may be responsible. In later years, an independent review found the investigation into Amber's disappearance was deeply flawed. Police eventually issued a public apology, one her mother refused to accept. Today, Amber Tuckerow's case remains open. Her son grew up without her. The man on that recording has never been identified, but Amber's voice still exists, preserved in that call, and somewhere, someone recognizes it.